These are the Brum Tech Scene interviews. I'm Stuart Langridge and I'm here in the Solomon Cutler on Broad Street. Not a particularly tech venue, but nonetheless, talking to Daniel Hollands of Birmingham.io.
Hi.
So, we've talked a lot about the tech scene and so on in the past, but people might not know about Birmingham.io and your plans for it. What's the deal here? What did you do and why?
Okay, the deal ultimately is that Birmingham.io is aiming to be somewhere that can connect all of the various different parts of the Birmingham tech scene in a single location. It was born out of frustration at the fact that nothing like that actually existed. When I got involved in the tech scene, I keep on saying 9 months ago, it was more probably closer to 10, 11 months now. I was keen on working on projects with different people, and I was a member of various different meetup groups, and I'd go to these different groups and I'd meet different people there, and I would then try to use the meetup.com discussion forum to plan additional things with them, and it just didn't work. It's the meetup.com discussion forums are very good for I'm going to be 5 minutes late, or I can't make it today, or where are you guys, but anything beyond that isn't suitable. And so I decided that I had a look around and I spoke to various different people within the tech scene to say, does something like this exist? After lots of people turned around and said no, it doesn't, I took it upon myself to set it up. So as it exists at the moment, Birmingham.io is just a central community forum location that people can come along and continue the conversation that they might have started at the various different meetups that they've had.
So the first step of this is a discussion forum, yes, built on discourse. And do you have particular goals for it in mind? Do you know a target number of users or anything like that?
I don't have any goals with regards to target number of users. The goal is for it to be successful in as much as someone can go there at any point of the day and there'll be something new on there because someone has asked an interesting question or there's a new event going on. With regards to the community itself, I will admit I'm not entirely sure how large the Brum tech scene is. I looked earlier today, we've got just under 170 members on the site at the moment, which I personally don't think is too bad. I've not spent any money promoting it, it's all word of mouth, and I'm not even particularly good at social media promotion, so as soon as I learn how to do that properly, I'm hoping that it's going to continue from there on as well. But yeah, beyond that, I don't have any specific goals. I'm more of a let's just see what happens kind of person, and then kind of to react to that as opposed to having a fixed plan that I'm going to stick to rigidly. I don't have such a plan. I'm just going to see what happens.
So some of it's about just people want someone to chat and talk about tech things or things in general, get in touch with other people who feel the same as they do, and Birmingham.io is a good place. Talk.Birmingham.io is a good place to do that. Yeah. But it's also potentially a kind of automatic fallback for everything. So if you're running an event or you're putting together a plan or a group or something that you want to do, then further discussion continues on Birmingham.io. Yeah. Seems like, that's what I do with these videos. There's a note on the bottom of brumtechscene.co.uk saying, discuss these things on Birmingham.io.
I'm very appreciative.
But it kind of keeps these things together, So you've got a sense that there's an actual community building there.
Yeah.
So the forum exists, talk.birmingham.io, but you have larger plans for Birmingham.io as a domain.
You yourself are involved in at least. You yourself have kind of taken the lead on at least 2 of them. So to date, with regards to things that are either done or in progress, there's Planet Birmingham, which I believe Richard came up with the idea for. You bootstrapped something together. Richard spent a lot of time actually going out and finding the various different blogs that populate Planet Birmingham. Planet Birmingham, of course, being a blog aggregator for anyone such as me who doesn't know what a planet is. And then I had spent a bit of time just making it a bit more Birmingham.io-y with the branding, which is not as good as it could be right now, but we're in the process of trying to fix that. And that's a single location. Go to planet.birmingham.io and you can see all of the blogs of all of the influential people within the tech scene in and around Birmingham in one location. So you go to one place and you can just read everything that's there. Another project, again, you heavily involved in is the calendar of events, trying to be more than just another place, another calendar that no one updates. Instead, this is, I believe you're going for the idea of a managed solution, in as much as there will be a representative who will be responsible for maintaining the data that's in there. And I think the key point here is that I've spoken 2 times about projects you've been working on, because that's the point of Birmingham IO. I'm happy for people to work on projects that help the community as long as they agree to certain conditions. For example, the project has to be open source, it has to kind of give credit where credit's due, it has to be community driven and has to kind of follow the branding guidelines. But as long as those things are all agreed upon, then I'm happy to give you a subdomain on Birmingham IO for you to go and do whatever you want to do. I've had people approach me because they want to have it as a data portal for the whole open data movement that's going on at the moment. So that once agreements are in place with the City Council in order to provide us with, you know, data on, I don't know, the number of working toilets in Birmingham or whatever the relevant data is, then data doesn't exist yet, but in theory data.birmingham.io could be the hub for that. For anyone that wants to access the data, they can go along there and that tells them where to find the information. I'm working on a couple of projects of my own, one that I'm hoping to make a start on this weekend at the Coding Global Hackathon. By the time this goes out, that would have already happened and you'll be able to see whether or not we've had any luck, but we're probably going to be building a pair programming portal for Birmingham IO, where anyone that is interested in working on a project with somebody else will be able to go along, take a look at all of the other people that are interested in working on such a project with them, and it's a kind of a matching service, so that you've got person A and person B to bring them together and let them work on these projects together. And there's lots of other kind of ideas like that, projects which I'm working on, but also projects which other members of the community are working on as well.
So Birmingham.io as a brand, I suppose, is kind of an umbrella under which all of these things shelter, central place where all this stuff exists.
Yes.
So there's obviously each individual little project will kind of publicise itself. So the people talk about the forum and direct you to it, or you know, the calendar, when we finally get it put together, will publicise itself to some extent.
Yeah.
But there's also the job of Birmingham.io itself as an umbrella brand.
Yeah.
And you mentioned social networking and so on, and how it's a bit new to you.
Yeah.
What help do you need? What would you like people to get? If someone's watching this and thinking, how can I help? What can they do to contribute to the overall Birmingham IO mise-en-scène?
To be honest with you, I need lots of help, because there's lots of things that I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm very much making it up as I go along. So for example, I don't know how to do proper social media. If there is somebody out there with experience in social media promotion, someone that can look after our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our Google Plus page, for example, someone that is able to keep them updated with relevant information, not only just for Birmingham IO, but also the Birmingham tech scene as a whole. If there's someone out there that knows how to do that and wants to lend their time to me, please come in. I'm very happy to have you. It's the same for other forms of promotion, search engine optimization and things like that. The main thing that I'm very keen on doing at the moment is literally just being active on the forum. If someone wants to donate their time to help me with a specific thing, such as the promotion, such as search engine optimization, such as you know, working on one of these open source projects, I'm very happy to accept that. But you don't have to formally approach me if you want to help. Just being active on the community is a big help in itself, because it shows that the community is active and you're helping yourself as much as you're helping me and everybody else by being active on the community.
And so you've got this kind of Birmingham IO overall umbrella thing. Are there particular projects which you would like to see happen under that umbrella which haven't yet?
There's a few. There's one which I've been thinking about. I've not told anyone about this as of yet, so I suppose you could call this an exclusive. I've been thinking about the idea of providing a directory of services for the Birmingham area, in as much as if you're a freelancer in Birmingham and you want to advertise your services as a freelancer, you can add your details to the directory. If you're a hosting company in Birmingham, if you're a designer, if you're anything, if you're an entrepreneur looking, maybe not an entrepreneur looking for a project, but if you've got a startup business, the idea is that for all services that are in some way related to the tech scene in Birmingham, IO, there is a directory for you to be able to go along and have all of these things. That's something which I've been thinking about, but haven't done too much with regards to actually making it work. But yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think it would really help people that are new to the area as well. I think, for example, although I've been talking about businesses and services, and I know that there's the calendar system which you're working on with regards to regular events that are happening, and I know that includes the meetup groups, but if this directory also included all of the meetup groups, just earlier today on the community, someone didn't know that Birmingham had any meetup groups, let alone the meetup group related to Ruby, for example. You yourself also summoned Dave Evans to the forum because someone was asking about that mobile framework, which I can't remember.
Xamarin.
Yes. And so, for example, these people don't necessarily know. Say, I was living in Birmingham for like 4 months before I knew anything like this existed, and it was just kind of lucky accident that I stumbled upon it and have become involved accordingly. So, if this could exist for the meetup groups, for the services, for the different companies and freelancers and designers and everything, I think that'd be really cool.
So, I mean, you're aware of different bits of the tech scene and what's going on and so on. Who else is doing something cool who you think I should talk to?
You see, I would suggest someone like Jessica Rose in the open code, but I know you've already spoken to her. I don't know, I think something Birmingham IO itself is certainly lacking in this, but I think it'd be really cool if we could find out more about gaming in the kind of the area, who exists, who is out there, who's doing these things. I know that Leamington, for example, who are not really Birmingham, but I'm happy to include them in the Birmingham kind of area for the purposes of the community. They're within commuting distance, so I don't see any reason why not. There's a big gaming scene down there. I also know that I've been to a meetup aimed specifically at games developers. There's lots of people working on projects in their bedroom, working on kind of freemium apps and games and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to find out more about what they're up to.
And what's your favourite biscuit?
So I've been fighting internally for this one for a while now, and I think it's down to one of 3, but I can't choose one.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's either going to be a bourbon or a hobnob or a ginger nut.
Wow, I've never come across anyone who can only narrow it down as far as 3.
I think if I was forced, I'd go bourbon.
You see, the worst thing about that is that that's actually the wrong choice, and the correct choice out of those is the hobnob.
Right. I apologise. I retract my previous statement.
Bourbon creams are horrific. I'll give you ginger nuts, but I have a vested interest here.
Fair enough.
So if people want to get involved, if they just want to hang out and talk to people, where should they go?
Come to birmingham.io, just type it into your browser, and there it is.
So thank you very much, Daniel Holland
Thank you very much.
Birmingham IO.
Thank you.